Hey guys, this is Div D, aka Dark Frozen Depths, and this is another Kamihime Project pre-event video. I forgot to do one for Tiamat, and I'm sorry about that one. But this one, we're going to have Sphinx and Vritra come back, but there's also going to be some new Kamihime. I also hear Soul might be getting her awakening within this event or the next one, so I've already saved on Dragonic Eyes for that. But even if you don't have Soul, the one in the middle right here, Atum, I think her name is, she's a very good healer from what I can tell. I'll get to that later. But anyways, these are rematches, so if you haven't finished off lists, I've pretty much demolished Vritra's list and a lot of Sphinx's, so I don't really have too much to grind for other than maybe a few more copies of Sphinx. Oh, and it's recommended to I think Vritra's weapon was decent. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's decent for later on. But anyways, it's best to try max limit break all of them because Sphinx has some very good stats plus a very good move where she I think is lower in debuff resistance. But anyways, Vritra, the only reason I recommend you step and get her maxed out is simply because of the fact that she comes with an ability damage up thing, which may or may not help some Solomon setups, but other than that, we're getting rather close to the point where we probably could start trading these things off, so you might want to start saving those up. Because when you max limit break copies and everything, it'll let you get some items later down the line. I think our I forgot what they're called, but we're due for something very good with those. Like I said, I'll do more on that when it happens, but now's the point where you definitely do want to get as much copies of everything as you can get, even if you're not going to use them. But yeah, thing with Sphinx, Ultimate and Ragnarok, she's got an ability where it can cause instant death unless you heal the debuff. So you really have to be careful on that one. My light team has Soul, so I can of course recover from that. But the recommended team to fight her with is Dark, so... But at the same time, I've gotten quite a few Dark characters, and I can hit the debuff cap because it just pulled Thanatos off of a ticket off camera not too long ago. I think it was a few days ago. Like right after I did the last pool video. But yeah, the recommended attack power for this too isn't too bad from what I'm seeing. I'm reading this off of Harem Battle Club because a lot of info is translated and everything. But they say the recommended attack power you need for Ragnarok is 30k and 24k for Ultimate. But keep in mind, this is still dependent on what your assault grids are, so you do need to level up your skills. They recommend you level them up to at least 10% per assault weapon anyways. But I say go further if you can, because you know the more you get, the easier it becomes. And then if you got Osiris, this fight really helps. Because you do need a healer for a lot of stuff. Now, the thing with Sphinx as well is the fact that she can nuke a single character, or even two of them. So, under normal raging, you may or may not want the attack debuffs on because of the fact that that's the one you want to stay in the most. You don't want her in her normal burst is good, but her raging burst, that's the dangerous one because it can instantly kill you if you do things wrong. So definitely bring some debuff resistance as well. And given how my teams are and everything, I probably will have Mordred on my Dark team, but yeah, you're going to want some debuff resistance. You're going to want her to stay out of raging as much as possible. So considering I got quite a few nukes, I'm probably not going to bring in Bastet. I'm going to just have Thanatos in with all my other characters. I think I got 4 SSR on my Dark team. But again, you're going to want Osiris, as they're suggesting down here. You want people to cure debuffs A Tom who just gets released in this upcoming gacha. Yeah, she's one of them. Again, I'll get to more on her. People that can delay Overdrive, Satan, Cthulhu, Raphael. Again, my white team is very good for this. People that can debuff, there's quite a few of them. Because I got SSR Amon, I've got the Natos, I can sip and toss in Mordred for more. And then on top of that too, you may or may not want a healer if you can't get Osiris. But Vivian can also cure debuffs too, that's why she's actually recommended. But yeah, I'm taking Mordred, because she'll cover all my debuffs I really need. And then I'll sip and also put in Joan's ability too for another attack down. But Arc is another soul that's recommended, which is actually Joan, I do believe. And here's the thing about this: she can actually cheat out the death ability, because of the simple fact that for some weird reason you get instantly killed, but the region brings you back up. So yeah, anybody with a region ability can also save you from that too. And then, of course, damage cut. So Joan's actually pretty good for this too. Now, Vritra is a totally different story. From what I'm getting, she can nuke you rather hard. So you need to lower her attack power mainly. But it's looking like she doesn't have anything special. She just hits everybody a lot. And then on top of that too, you're probably gonna want some healers and damage cuts for it, from what I can tell, because they don't really have too much info in this one right here. But I've fought Vritra before. But yeah, damage cut, healers, those are the basics. You definitely want some debuffers for that too. I don't know if Vritra has anything else. I can look it up when I go over to the one wiki. But anyways, this is why you might want Sphinx, because of the simple fact that her stats are pretty good. Maxed out, she has over 2,000. So level 100 Sphinx is a reason why they recommend her. Not to mention, she also increases ability damage if you do use her as a main, but the reason why you want her as a sub as well is she decreases the chance of debuffs being resisted. So when you summon her, enemies aren't going to resist those debuffs as much if it sticks. So she can act like a second Mordred in that case, just without the resistance added to you. Now this hammer, I don't know why it's showing second skills on this just yet, but the main thing is the fact that it's an assault, and a very, very good assault. So that said, you max out this hammer, you got a lot of attack power, you got assault, and oh, it's got a dual effect, that's what that is. Yeah, it's got assault and HP. I should know that, I've got skill level 20 on it. But yeah, assault and HP, so it's a dual weapon, but it's got a lot of attack power. That's the main reason why you want to max this out. Even on a grid where you don't fully have all the stuff, because I still have some rainbow-ish grids, because I've stopped trying to go after SR and I just started focusing on an SSR because I've collected quite a few of them. 2 grids can fully go on one element now, just SSR alone. But anything with very, very high attack power, on the offhand that you do still need to fill in some slots, that attack power can fill in the gap pretty well. So you gotta keep that in mind. Not to mention, there's a spear that's also assault if you really want to go after it. And it's not too bad at level 100, I mean not 185, but it's still SR, so it's going to be replaced at some point. Get it if you need to fill in some gaps, but in my case I don't. I'm like one slot away from a full white grid, and I can fill that with Metatron's weapon. And then they have grails here for the rewards. Don't worry about the grail. Reason being is because of the fact that this is a rematch, and you know they're going to have Dragonic Eye Shards. Always get those first. If you have extras for the Grails, then go for it if you want. But always get the Dragonic Eye Shards first. For Vritra, she's good for HP if you need more HP, but other than that, okay, she's on Burst Streak. Okay, ability damage was Sphinx. Vritra's Burst Streak. That's why she's actually kind of useful, because of the fact that she can increase your burst streak damage, which is that final attack after running a whole bunch of bursts together. I've used it during burst time. It's pretty good, actually. There's definitely better out there, because I know there's a few water gacha characters that think that they'll just blow that out the water, especially if you got the 100% add on. But still. And then, the thing about this weapon, we don't yet have final breaks, but when you do, it's going to gain an attack increase, an assault, to go with the defender. And then on top of that, the other reason why you might want it anyway, it increases your triple attack chance when you set it on as a lead. I've used it for my water teams quite a bit. I've already got this thing maxed out, so it is worth it. Its attack power is even pretty high too. It is worth it. And then there's a hammer that also gives you attack power increase, and an axe that also does it as well. So you've got 3 shots at assault weapons, at least when the final breaks come out, right here. But considering that currently we don't have the final break for weapons, even still that sword is kind of worth it. It's definitely worth it later down the line. Don't try to miss out on it just because it says defender. But then we have event quests. They're the standard stuff usually. It's like Queer Ragnarok Ultimate Expert without an elixir, Queer with R and SR. Now here's where it gets a little bit interesting. Ultimate with water for Sphinx. And for Vritra, wind. So get your wind teams ready, get your water teams ready. But also against Vritra, recommended elements thunder. And Sphinx is recommended against darkness. But since Sphinx is light, you can use whoever. For Vritra, just use anybody but fire. Unless you're really feeling daring. But the new Kamihime, I'm not really going to look too much into the R1 or the SR1. But Atom, we're about to go to her right now. Because I copied the link. Now here's the reason why Atom might actually be worth pulling for. Although there's a gacha to try and pull for Soul at some point. I just don't know when. Because you know they do that for all the ones that can awaken. Not to mention there's already a gacha for her concerning the Will Kamihime one. But this one's actually pretty strong too. She has an ability that reduces the cooldown of abilities for one character by 1 turn. I don't know if it works on herself. So that's one thing that's interesting. Another is the fact that her heal is 2,000 HP, I do believe, and then she puts up a barrier for 2,000. Yeah, recovers up to 2,000 HP and gives a barrier for 2,000. But it's a single target heal. But that's the reason why she's good, because she heals you by a lot and puts up a barrier. There's a lot of cases where I've seen Kamihime just getting completely jumped on, where I'm only having one Kamihime really getting hit and the others aren't really taking too much. This is why she can also work as a healer as well. Sometimes you need them single target heals. What makes her even better is the fact that she can revive people, just like Andromeda. So she is literally a second Andromeda. I don't know if she can recover souls either, because Andromeda's the only one that really gets that ability, and then your souls can have it too. So this might change things with you being able to bring your soul back into life. That's why I'm saying get her. Either way, that revival's pretty good. It's just the fact that it has a seriously long cooldown. But it says automatic restoration, so it puts a buff on them, and whenever they're killed, they get revived. So that's the whole thing with that. But here's the assist skill that really helps out too. Unlimited life. she's got an infinite regeneration, which can also coexist with other regenerations. So, say you put Gaia's regeneration with hers, that's 650 HP she's getting per turn as long as Gaia's buff is on. Without it, she gets 250 per turn, so she can survive quite a bit. This is why I say Atom's actually worth going for. She's not top tier, in my opinion, but she's definitely up there. White tends to get a lot of interesting characters from what I've noticed, usually among the healing department. But now we're going to go look up Vritra, because I'm curious to know what she got. Because I don't remember everything about it, but we're still going to go over what she does for a Ragnarok fight. Because quite frankly, that's still important. And here's the other thing too before I mention this. It's usually you don't want to go after Adolans that don't have that much attack power or whatever, but you got to keep this thing in mind. You still need HP to survive, and until we start getting a lot more dual weapons, you're going to need at least one defender in your grid, trust me. Because if you don't have the HP, you're going to get ran through unless you have some insane attack power like how my fire team did against the Kyuki Ragnarok fight. You need to have some seriously high attack power or you're going to get ran through. That's why I cannot survive the wind catastrophe raid. I need more HP. I cannot clear that without a massive amount of help, and I'm talking about 7+ people helping me, or I have to use an elixir. HP is a factor. Do not ignore it. But anyways, looking at this, yeah, see, this is why I really wanted to pay attention to this. She prevents your abilities from charging by the looks of it. If you get hit with her normal move. And then there's a random 3 people get hit with her raging one. So her bursts are kind of dangerous. But from what I'm seeing, she doesn't have that much HP. Less than 3 million is actually pretty low for a Ragnarok fight. So, and then at this point in the game too, we have content that's actually got enemies with more HP, especially if you try to solo the catastrophe fights. So that said, Vritra is more of a kill her before she kills you, so I really wouldn't worry about the ability blocking. The stuff I said earlier still stands. Get some damage cuts, get some healers, get some debuffers. You're going to want those. But when you go to face her too, keep in mind that you can get hit with the normal one. So her raging burst might be better to deal with, depending on your resistances. Either way, you just want to kill her as fast as possible. Simple as that. It's looking like a pure damage race. That's really low HP for a Ragnarok fight. Because honestly, just compare, we can go to Sphinx and see how much HP she has. Okay, so they don't have the HP values for Sphinx, but just seeing the ultimate difference, she has 150,000 more HP on ultimate. So Ragnarok, she's probably got 3.5 million, maybe 4 million, I'm guessing. So you already see a little bit of a difference just off of the ultimate stats. So yeah, Sphinx is going to have more HP. I'm not sure how much exactly because they don't have it posted or anything, but yeah. But she's one of the first ones to give you a dual weapon for light, I do believe, out of events. And the attack power is amazing. So, that said, you're going to want to grind things out. And like I said, Atom, not too bad to pull for, honestly. So, if you need a healer for light and somehow don't have soul, she can also play a healer as well. Or if you have soul, but you still need like one person targeted, then Atom still helps. Either way, that revive is the one that that makes it interesting because I do believe it will automatically revive a soul. Now that I'm seeing that info, that allows you to revive soul characters now. Which means, say Joan actually dies in your fight, she can automatically get revived thanks to Atum. So, that changes things. Again, it's not like game breaking, especially when Soul gets awakened. Because when Soul gets awakened, she becomes insanely powerful. That's why I'm saving Dragonic Eye Shards for her. But Atum, she's definitely up there. She's definitely high tier. I'm pretty sure of it. But anyways, that's enough of this. More Kamihime projects going to come soon because, of course, I do the Ragnarok fights. When an event first runs, I tend to show off Ultimate and all that. But unless I'm going for one of the ability, for one of the quests, I'm not really going to show any fights aside from Ragnarok. So I'll show the off-element ones and probably try to do them with our characters because I'm quite strong. But other than that, I'm probably not going to go too much into things. So expect the Ragnarok fights, definitely. But other than that, not too much more. Considering I got Jupiter, as long as I level her up beforehand, I'm pretty much set for Vritra anyways, because I'll have somebody that gives attack plus and then somebody with thunder damage up as well. But anyways, that's all I got for this, guys. Take care.